preparing the speech for my brother's wedding, I received advice from a few different people on how to give a good wedding speech. And the common theme of the advice seemed to be people would say, you know what, Jim, if you want to give a really good wedding speech, just keep it short and sweet. So an idea occurred to me. I remember growing up watching the TV show sitcom Cheers. And in one particular episode of Cheers, one of the main characters, Carla Tortelli, was getting married again. But this particular episode, she was marrying the hockey goaltender, Eddie LeBeck. And the day that Eddie proposed to Carla and Carla accepted, later on that day, Eddie walked into the bar at Cheers, and everybody stood up and started clapping and cheering. And then they all started chanting, "Speak, speak, speak." It was obvious by Eddie's demeanor that he was very uncomfortable with the whole idea of public speaking, but he ended up giving what, in my mind, was one of the best short, sweet wedding speeches that I've ever heard. And it was only 3 words. He just said, "Well, you know." So I was very tempted to come out here and steal Eddie's 3-word wedding speech and really keep it short and sweet. But after further consideration, I thought it would be better to elaborate a little bit more on that. But seriously, I want to say I'm very honored to be my brother's best man. I've known my brother since the day he was born, back in July of 1977. We shared a room together for a lot of years. We shared the same group of friends for a lot of years, 2 of whom, Tom and Frank, are here tonight. And just a lot of memories I have with my brother. I remember the first time I saw my brother in a school setting. He was in 2nd grade, and I was in 5th grade. And I remember one day walking down the hallway near his classroom. And I think just out of curiosity, I peeked my head in his room just to see what was going on. And I saw my brother in the back of the classroom. He was goofing off doing something. And his teacher that year, Sister Althea, was yelling at him. And then I'll never forget, Sister Althea walked over to my brother, grabbed him by his ear, and drug him to the front of the classroom. I should have known that was a sign of things to come for Michael in school. But truth be told, Michael and I, growing up, we argued a lot, we fought a lot, we teased each other almost incessantly sometimes. And I remember after one particularly heated argument with my brother later on that day, I remember my father talking to me and he said, you know, growing up, your Uncle Jerry and I used to fight a lot. He said, but then when we got older, he became one of my best friends in the world. And I wouldn't be surprised if, when you grow up, your brother becomes one of your best friends in the world. And I remember when my father said that, I remember looking at him and thinking to myself, I think my father just lost his mind. To me at that time, the idea of my brother and I becoming the best of friends just seemed incomprehensible to me. But anyway, following that talk with my father, the years went by, we still fought and argued a lot, and I remember we were fiercely competitive with one another. I remember playing one-on-one basketball in the backyard, and I'm sure my father will attest to the fact that those games got quite heated. There was definitely a time or two where he had to step in between us and separate us because we were about to attack each other. Then all of a sudden one day we were both grown up, and funniest thing happened. I can't completely explain it, but I have to say, Dad, you were right. My brother became one of my best friends in the world. And because I know my brother as well as I do, I have to say a sincere thank you to Danielle. Because Danielle, I've never seen my brother happier than since he met you. I think it's only the effect that the right woman can have on a man. But I just want to say, love you guys both very much. And I'd like to ask everybody to join me in raising your glasses and offering up a toast to the beautiful bride, Danielle, and her groom, my brother, one of my best friends in the world, Michael. Cheers. Cheers.